Hello and welcome. My name is Jim Fletcher, and I'm here to talk to you about what to do in case your house catches on fire and how you can get your family out safely. So, I want you to think about something. You went to bed thinking that your family was safe. In the middle of the night, you are startled awake coughing. Smoke surrounds you, and instantly it's confusing you. Scared for your family, you make your way to the doorway and open the hallway door, and you are overcome by a thick black wall of smoke which burns your nose and knocks you to the ground, to the knees. Your mind is now racing. What do I do? What I just described can happen to anybody in this room. Can you remain calm during this? Can you keep your wits about you? Can you get to your family? Can you get to your kids? Can you get to your wife? Can you get them out of the house? Once you're out of the house, if everybody has gone their separate ways to get out of the house, do you have a meeting place where they can all meet so you know that everybody's out of the house? So the objectives for this presentation are very, very simple, and they revolve around fire safety. The first one is the participants are going to be able to list the factors that are responsible for or have a hand in fire fatalities. The second one is the participants going to be able to list several things that they can do to lessen the chance of being injured or having a fire death if a fire should strike. Now, there's also going to be a couple activities, and the one activity is I want you to go home and make a fire exit plan and post that on your door where your kids and your family can see it. And then the next, I actually want you to practice that exit plan. Get out of the house in under 3 minutes. That's the most important part, is being able to get out of the house and getting to a meeting place. So let's start this presentation by talking about America's fire problem. Number one, every 87 seconds there is a house fire in the United States. Here's the real statistics. Every 2 hours and 24 minutes there is a fire fatality. Every 35 minutes there is a fire injury. So I know a lot of you are asking, where do all these numbers come from? The 87 seconds to 2 hours and 24 minutes, and some of the other numbers that I'm going to give you later on in this presentation. So there's actually two data collection places. The National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, collects data and does surveys, and the U.S. Fire Administration collects all the data from fire reports. So let's talk about fire statistics. So in 2018, which is the last year that we have all the numbers for, there was 276,500 fires reported in 1 and 2 family homes. This does not include any structure that is a warehouse, a business, or anything. Those are just fires that are in 1 and 2 family homes. And that was 55% of all fires. Secondly, there was 17% of those, or 86,500, that occurred in apartment buildings. So you can see how many fires there were. Now, the structure fire for 1 and 2 family homes also includes manufactured homes. So as you can see from this graph, we have done a tremendous job at reducing the amount of home structure fires from 1977 to 2017. And the reason it starts in 1977 is that's when actually the reporting went in for the fire service. That's when they had to start reporting all their fires. So that's why it starts there. Now, nobody is denying that this is one of the single greatest accomplishments in the fire service history. It's, it's tremendous. However, there's still more that can be done to reduce both fires and injuries and deaths in a fire. So, as for the fire injuries and death portion, This graph only starts in the 1980s, actually 1980 to 2018. And as you can see, we've still done a really good job of dropping the death rate down. And those 5.1 is per thousand population is what it is. So as you can see, we've done a real good job, but we still have, you know, over 2,700 people dying each year. So what we have to do is come up with ways of getting the message out and understanding, get people to understand that, even though homes are built safer today, you have smoke detectors and everything, there is still a very big chance that you could die in a house fire. So now that we've talked about statistics, I want to give you an activity. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the statistics, but it's going to have something to do with the risk factors and what you can do after we go over the risk factors to help you. So, what I want you to do is take a few minutes and think about the last time you actually thought about what happens if a fire struck my house. Then I want you to ask yourself these three questions. Number one, can I get my family out safely? Number two, will my family know what to do in case of a fire? And three, is there another way out of my house? So I want you to think about these, and then we're going to answer them hopefully in the risk factors and in the what you can do to keep your family safe sections of this presentation. So the first risk factor I want to talk about is age. So back probably a decade ago, the statistics showed that the very young or the very old were at the most risk. However, in the last few years, what we've seen is people 55 and over have had a more of a risk of dying in a fire. So the next risk factor is disabilities. And what we're talking about is unable to walk on their own, blind, hard of hearing. Now, as you can see, this does include impairments of drugs and alcohol as well. So it's kind of, the statistics are kind of skewed, but when we talk about people with disabilities, we're mostly looking at those who, for some reason, can't hear the alarm, can't see to get their way out, or they can't move on their own to get out. So, one risk factor that a lot of people don't think about is the time of day or night. With the majority of fire deaths occurring while the occupants are sleeping, with the change in the way a lot of people work, this can happen at any time of the day or night. Firefighters are always taught to look and see at a fire what's in the driveway. Is there cars in the driveway? Is there lights on or off? Is it completely dark? So that we know whether there could potentially be occupants inside that we're going to have to go and rescue. So unfamiliar structures is one of the final risk factors you can think of. And people are often take it for granted that they know they're in somebody's house, they know how to get out if there's a fire. Now, I'm not just talking about residential homes. I'm also talking about businesses, hotels, motels, um, apartments, things like that. People often take it for granted that, if one way is blocked, do you know how to get out if you can't get out the door or if you can't go down the hallway to the stairs? So, and the final risk factor is actually the one that we're here talking about today, smoke alarms. Now, up until 1975, smoke alarms were brand new and they were not relatively present in structures. So in 1975, there was only about 10% usage. By 2018, which is the last year that we have statistics for, there was 96% of the homes have smoke alarms. Now, most often that's because the building codes from 1975 to 2018 are totally different. They've been rewritten, several hundred times, and smoke alarms are now required in all new residential buildings. Now, one thing to put a little bit of number on this, from Statista 2020, this is the real estate, the number of housing units in the United States from 75 to 2019 is 140 million. Compare that to the 78 million or 79 million that was in 1975, and you can see that we have increased smoke alarm use quite a bit. So now, what can we do to make our family safe? Well, the first thing is you need to check your smoke alarms. Now, the rule of thumb is every time the time changes from daylight savings and back, you should replace your battery. And then the new thing is every 10 years you should replace the whole smoke detector. Now, the reason for this is that those sensors get old and they lose their effectiveness. By the time they're 10 years old, the effectiveness of that smoke alarm has been cut by 50%. The next thing you need to do is act immediately. Once you hear that smoke alarm, get out. Don't pick up anything. Don't grab anything. You need to get out. There's nothing in that house that's worth your life. The saying is, get out and stay out. Don't go back. This next item is important, and it goes along with once you get out, stay out. And that's no two ways out of every room in your house, as well as your house itself. Because if one of those exits are blocked, you're going to have to go to a second. So if you're in a room, you feel the door and the door is hot, you need to get to a window so you can get out. So the last thing is have a meeting place. Once you're outside, have a designated meeting place so that you know everybody is out of that house. We need to know that. You need to know that for peace of mind. And you can't know that if everybody's, if your son went to his friend, his daughter went to her friend. Make sure that they have a meeting place. They know where they need to go so that we know everybody is out of that house. So for the last activity, I have 3 items I'd like you to do. The first one is sit down and make an exit plan. Mark the path your family will follow to get out of the house, and remember to mark the meeting place where you want everybody to meet. Next, I want you to post the exit plan and have a fire drill so everybody knows what they need to do and they can practice it as well. With newer houses now, inside the house becomes untenable, too much smoke, too much heat in under 3 minutes. So you need to get out in under 3 minutes. And then the last thing I want you to do, you need to look at your smoke alarms and see what the data manufactured is, and if it's older than 10 years, it needs to be replaced. Now, manufacturers just started putting replace by on their smoke alarms. So the older smoke alarms may not have the replace by. So those are the 3 activities I would like you to do. So I hope this short presentation has helped you decide to be fire conscious. As a firefighter, I know all the statistics, I know what to do, but like everybody else, I thought, fire is such a small chance it'll never happen. Well, the pictures behind me are from my house fire, the one that we had in our house. My 17-year-old daughter slept in that room, and as you can see, the smoke had already banked down all the way to her bed and had burned the walls, scorched the walls in the heat. She's fine. She went to the hospital with a little bit of smoke inhalation, but she was fine. But the fire did almost $35,000 damage to the house and contents. So fire can happen to anybody. Please, if you take nothing from this presentation, please take that your family is important and nothing in your house is worth your life or your family's life. It can be replaced. Their life can't. Thank you for listening. Be safe.